anyone who has flown economy class knows the armrest challenge. You're gingerly trying to place your elbow on that skinny plastic thing, and so is the person next to you, because there's only one armrest for two people. All of us have eaten at restaurants or cafes where the tables and chairs are just a little too close together and someone keeps hitting the back of your chair. I was at this fundraiser recently in Seattle, and there was a couple in just that situation. About half an hour in, the lady said to all of us at the table, "I am not giving any money to this organization because they clearly don't care about me." Recently, a friend of mine posted all over social media how horrible his upstairs neighbor was for vacuuming at 11 p.m. How could she do this? Doesn't she know I have to go to work in the morning? And then I do yoga at a studio that shares a wall with a basketball court. But not just this, we have to cross that basketball court to get to the studio. So you can imagine when there's a basketball game going on, how disruptive it is. And likewise, when we're in Shavasana and someone is dribbling a ball against that wall, how distracting that can be. So these are all examples of design for conflict. They set us up to blame each other for design errors or oversights or just bad design, when the reality is it's really more about the space than the other person. And we prepare for battle, to defend ourselves, to defend our right, because we think it's an affront to us. We feel like victims in this. And while I was looking for slides for this talk, I saw so many slides for how many people wanted to kill their upstairs neighbor. And so it can inspire real and imagined violence. So I came into this sensitivity about space through a major illness, long-lasting illness. And when you're very fearful and you're very sick, all of your senses are heightened. So those lights become even so much brighter, and maybe they raise your anxiety, or maybe they give you a headache. Or maybe it's the smells of chemical cleaners or foods or medicines or other people that bother you. Or maybe it's the noises. Maybe it's the sounds of carts going down the corridor or doors slamming or beeps of machines. And I have heard things in ERs that I wish I had never heard. And I was always cold. So I would wrap myself in blankets when I went to the doctor's office. It would be 100 degrees outside, but I knew that once I got there, I would freeze. Now, I became sensitive to space through something very particular, but the reality is we are all affected by our environments. And most of us are unconscious of it. People are incredibly adaptable, and we adapt to things we probably shouldn't adapt to. But I also learned that space could improve interactions, that it could improve healing rates and lower stress, that it could shift the way that we see ourselves and each other. Because space, it communicates a lot about who we are, about what we value, what we don't value, who we value, and who we do not value. So my goal in this is for all of us to be aware of how we are affected by our environments. Because we are all affected, and but notice also, not just when you're anxious, but also when it's a good thing, like when the acoustics are just right and it puts you at ease, or when you find your way where you can navigate intuitively, or when the lighting is just right for what you're trying to do. And when you do find yourself in a design for conflict, be allies to each other instead of adversaries, because we are all victims to bad design. And the good news is that everything around us, this stage, the acoustical panels, the screen, the pews, the doors, the street outside, the sidewalks, They were all designed. We built all of this so we can build it better.